values, like her people, are strong. But something is wrong in our state. Sales taxes increase, spending exceeds revenues, the property tax system is out of control. As the new decade begins, Kansas faces a crisis of leadership. A crisis brought on by professional politicians who fail to address critical issues, who seek to find blame instead of finding solutions. It's time, Kansas. Time for effective new leadership in the governor's office. Time for a businessman who'll take a business-like approach to the problems facing Kansas. It's time for Nestor Weigand.
This is not politics as usual. It's time for someone who is not a professional politician to do something about the economic and social disaster facing us. It's time for a new governor with a vision of leadership for the 90s. Let me put it straight to the citizens of Kansas. We have a leadership crisis in Kansas caused by two professional politicians, Governors Carlin and Hayden, who seem to care more about politics than about people. It's time for Kansas, with leadership from a Republican governor who speaks for the people, to cut taxes, cut spending, and return control of the government to the citizens.
Nestor Weigand. His roots and values run deep in Kansas. His grandparents settled in Sedgwick County at the turn of the century. In the bustling economy of the new century, J.P. Weigand started a real estate firm. His values of hard work, integrity, and caring for people helped the firm thrive. From a close-knit family, Nestor learned the value of family. It's here that character is built. He earned a degree in finance from the University of Notre Dame and served his country as an Army lieutenant. Joining the family firm, first as a salesman, he learned the business from the ground up. Becoming president of the company in 1983, he helped build it into one of the most successful firms in the state. Always active in his community, he was appointed by Governor Docking to serve on the Kansas Highway Commission and the Commission on the Bicentennial. In 1987, he was elected president of the National Association of Realtors. His work on fair housing legislation drew praise from business and government leaders alike. In 1989, in response to the growing crisis in the Kansas property tax system, he founded Citizens for Fair Taxation. Last November, it was Nestor Weigand who brought the message of the people to Topeka.
You and I are here today to deliver a message. Listen to us. Do not ignore our voice.
Property taxes. No other issue so defines the crisis of leadership in our state. This is the story of one family, Wilson and Eldora Hazen.
We moved here 19 years ago, and it was just a double wide. And he put a front porch on it, built 8 foot on the bedrooms, and put a garage on it. I have 5 grandchildren. Chris, she's 11 years old. She's a great help to her grandmother. She's awful good to her grandpa. She brings him coffee and just really takes care of him. Our income is our Social Security and the VA pension. We have all of the property paid for, and we owe nobody. I didn't give it a thought that we couldn't swing every payment that come along. But our taxes have jumped from $725 a year to $1,959. I think it's a terrible thing to have to give up everything just because we can't make that much of a payment. If the taxes stay at the rate they are now, we'll probably have to sell by next year.
The way I would solve this property tax problem that we are now facing is simply go to the legislature, tell them that we want a constitutional amendment to be voted on by the people of Kansas and capping real estate taxes. For example, capping a $50,000 house at 1% would equate to a $500 per year annual tax on that residence. We're graduating students from high school that can't read and write and do basic mathematics. And it's a pretty serious situation. We have corporations in this state that are saying they cannot hire our graduates because they're not educated enough. I'm a pro-life candidate. Yes, I've been told that if I could move my position to a pro-choice side, that I would garner other support that I do not have. But again, I'm not a politician, and I can't shift positions for the audience that I'm talking to. My parents instilled values that were right at the heart and the core, and that is that you need to look at work as dignity, and you need to put all your energy in that, and that you need to do the very best that you can do.
In building a successful business, Nestor Weigand has surrounded himself with people of ability. For Lieutenant Governor, Nestor has called upon the unique talents of Representative David Miller. Miller, himself a businessman from Eudora, has served 5 terms in the legislature. He authored the Can Work program and was chairman of the task force that identified solutions to the prison crisis. And he's earned the reputation as a fighter for the taxpayers of Kansas.
1990 is not going to be an ordinary election year. It's a year that's very important for the future of Kansas, and frankly, it's important for the future of the Republican Party in this state. We must provide the people with new leadership. The people of this state are looking for new leadership. They're looking for new ideas. The current administration seems more obsessed with figuring out who to blame for these problems than in finding real solutions. In this building, in this Kansas legislature, too many times leadership was lacking from the governor's office as we tried to tackle the difficult problems that face this state. What did we get from the governor's office? Well, frankly, very little on the important issues of reappraisal and classification. Nestor Weigand will provide fresh leadership. Nestor Weigand will provide real solutions for the problems that face this state.
This year, it's not politics as usual. Nestor Weigand and David Miller are reaching out, taking this campaign to every part of Kansas, listening to the people, offering real solutions to the problems that face our state. Leadership as solid as the people of Kansas.
We're going to win this August primary, and then we're going to win this general election in November, and then we're going to roll up our sleeves and start working for the people of Kansas. Together, for Kansas, we can and we will make a difference. Thank you all very much for coming.
It is time, Kansas. Time for effective new leadership in the governor's office. This year, Nestor Weigand, a governor to make Kansans proud again. If you are currently registered as a Democrat, you must change your registration in order to vote for Nestor Weigand in the August 7th primary. You may re-register in person at your county election commissioner's or county clerk's office, or at one of many permanent voter registration locations in some counties. Or you may phone your county election commissioner or county clerk and request that the form be mailed to you. The deadline to re-register is July 22, 1990. Voters registered as independent or unaffiliated may simply request a Republican ballot on Election Day. This will change your registration to Republican. Remember, all Kansans can support Nestor Weigand on August 7th.